Let's talk about holding the pick real fast. Actually, I need myself a fresh pick here. Somebody was asking on the forum about why their pick was moving around or something like that. So basically the way I hold the pick, which allows me to play without the pick moving around too much, but not to have a real tight or death grip on it, is I will, if I hold it like this, you'll see not too much of the pick sticks out when I'm playing. And if I get rid of my thumb, you know, the pick kind of fits into this crease right here. All right, so it doesn't really move anywhere. And I've got my thumb over the bulk of it. So what happens is that I don't have to grip it with a death grip. And it's not going to move around, which is cool. So it's got a little bit of play in it if I need it. But I also have just a little bit of the pick sticking out, so I'm not like trying to push, oops, everything's backwards, that much of the pick through the string. Because it gets real hard to move that. And that makes it, because I'm using a Fender Heavy. Alright, now notice that I'm doing a little bit of the kind of anchoring. I usually tell people don't anchor. What I found is that if I leave my fingers kind of out a little bit, this stuff right here doesn't get as tight or tense, and I can actually move from the wrist a little bit more. And then it also kind of gives me a nice reference on the, you know, as to where the front of the guitar is without being stuck on it. When I see people and they're stuck like this, there's a lot of great players that do it that way. But what I've found is that if people start that way from the very beginning, they have problems with the rhythm guitar playing, like all that. Now, see where my fingers are right now? I'll get a little bit of extra velocity or centrifugal force through the strings, because that wrist has to stay kind of nice and loose through there. If I lock the wrist up and strum, it doesn't sound that great. But if what's happening is that the forearm moves a little bit, and then the wrist kind of throws the hand through the strings. So I get kind of a more of that kind of sound out of it. But it's not so far from my picking technique that I can't go back and forth. And then I can also use it while I'm hybrid picking. Does that make sense, guys? So just hold the pick this way. There's a great video by Scott For, a bluegrass guy, and he talks about when you're picking with the right hand, you kind of want to get rid of the pick for a second, and it's almost like you're taking your thumb and you're pushing it through the string. All right, and then when you're picking up, you're using your index finger and you're pulling up through the string. You know, so you're pushing the side of your thumb down through the string and the index finger up through it. And you kind of get used to that idea. And then you grab the pick and you kind of keep that visualization, and suddenly you're alternate picking pretty consistently. So I've actually been working quite a bit on my own alternate picking lately, just because it's been the weakest part of my own playing. So my right hand has improved quite a bit, but also in some ways I went kind of backwards in my playing, because what happens is in order to kind of work up a new skill, you have to break some old habits, and it kind of screws with what you're doing. So I'll go play a gig and I'll think, oh, you know, I can play these real, you know, that kind of stuff, and just fall flat on my face. So, all right, that's enough about picking.